Hello, hello, hello. My name is Magali Colliman Christopher. I'm the producing artistic director of Concho Productions. And today we are hosting an amazing live chat with none other than Joshua W. Josey. So, why are we talking with Joshua Josey? Well, don't forget the W. Joshua W. Josey is one of our CSP New Works Fest featured artists, and we're going to be sharing his play Weavers with you December 4th to 6th at HB Playwrights Theater. Hello, Joshua. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for everyone who's watching this live chat. If you want to put in some comments, it'll show up on the screen. If you have any questions, we'll be answering it. So feel free to be totally engaged with this conversation because today we're going to be talking about what impact producing. Impact producing. So some people hear phrases and they're kind of confused. What is this person saying? What is impact producing? So at Conchel Productions, when we think about impact producing, we're thinking about how we create the dialogue between Caribbean heritage artists and the audience. We're thinking about how we're awakening awareness to unheard, underrepresented, amazing Caribbean heritage voices. We're thinking about how we're creating community, impacting community by bringing all the 28 nations together under one creative umbrella, both Caribbean heritage based in the other states and countries and Caribbean folk who live in the Caribbean to tell story from film and theater perspective, right? That's what I'm thinking about when I think about it. What about you? What are you thinking about when you hear impact producing? Because let me put a little precursor here. Joshua W. Josey is not just the playwright of Weavers, but he's also producing this event. He's producing the performance of his play. So, when you think about impact producing, what does that bring to mind for you? What does that mean to you as an artist?
And for one, thank you again for having me here. Impact producing, it's definitely evolved for me,
Mm,
considering the fact that I recently graduated from law school, which of course has informed my artistic lens. And so impact producing is one, the story doesn't end, excuse me, the work doesn't end when the story ends. That
mm,
there's something that carries on with you after, let's just say there's a blackout or the end of the show. And so for me, it's about planting a seed, I think, in the audience where that
mm.
motivates them to do something in the end.
I love
That's
that.
that's what I think it is for me.
Thank you. So tell us about your play. What is Weavers about and what inspired you to write this play? And like you said, you want people to be able to walk out of the theater being impacted. What impact were you hoping to have on the audience with the writing of this? So I'm asking a whole lot.
And I'm
So
going to
first
answer
start
a
off
whole
with
lot.
telling us about the play and what inspired you to write it.
Okay, so Weavers is a play. It's after years apart, a mother and son reunite only to find that the memory that they have for each other
Hmm.
has frayed a little bit. Each other is not who they remember. And so what begins as humorous and fun banter soon turns into this psychological revelation of dealing with, for instance, illness, acceptance. And so there's a mother and a son, and it's pretty much the story between me and my mother and how we've uh, we were very close. We have this memory of each other, and I go off to school and I come back, and we both are kind of having to relearn each other. And so, what I want this story to leave with the audience when it comes to the impact part is, I think every parent and every child has experienced something like this,
Hmm.
where it's kind of getting to know your parent again, and your parent having to get to know you because you both have grown and changed. And so what I would like for this show to do for the audience is to pick up the phone and call your parents. Pick up the phone and call your child. Because that perspective of that worldview that might be colliding, that can potentially, of course, like just deteriorate the relationship. And
Mm.
that's kind of what I want this story to do, to kind of highlight this aspect that I think many people experience, and to kind of counter that actively.
I love you that you say that because often people talk about staying in touch with friends, right? But they don't talk enough about staying in touch with your parents and how that impacts the generational divide that
Mm.
like intrinsically exists because of the age difference, but also if your parents don't grow with you, that's the most precious relationship in the world to try to foster a long-term growth journey, right? Thank you for sharing that. So, I was thinking about when I came back home from college when you said that, and how different I was, and how many years it took for my mom and I to get back on the same page that we were at. I'm sorry, you totally moved me.
Wow.
You
Wow.
totally moved me because I had to grow up and see my mom as a human and not like someone who's responsible for being perfect in that one moment. So, thank you so much. So, I'm looking forward to the community dialogue that comes from your piece. Absolutely looking forward to it. So tell us more about your relationship with Conchal Productions and how is it now? I mean, there are four other playwrights and you all met together and how does it feel to be part of this community of amazing art for social change artists?
Yes. So first, we met, I think, in 2019 for a reading of Lucky. And it was my first time being in New York and being in a room full of Caribbean artists. And that's just something that's been new to me, connecting with the heritage. Many individuals who come to America, they Americanize. And then so here it was really beautiful being in a space with creatives who have this shared background and shared experience, and uplifting and holding those stories, because you usually get washed away when you come to America. And so that's what I really enjoyed being a part of Conch Productions. And so I met some of the writers and some of the actors during our tour yesterday, and it was really beautiful to be in a space where we're all here on a mission to tell our stories. And it was just a really nice way to connect with people who see each other. Um,
Oh my god, that is I forgot that's how we actually first started our journey. 2019 was the first time we hosted the CSP New Works Fest, and Lucky is written by Venezia Farrell. And the funny coincidence, Ashley, who's the stage manager of Tyler,
yes, I remember.
Tyler's play,
Of
Bami and Buxom. She mentioned that she found out about us. She referred Tyla to us because of Venezia. And it was just and I was talking with Tyla the other day and she said she met with Venezia for a cup of coffee. It's just like 6 degrees of separation, right? 6 beautiful degrees of separation. Oh my gosh. Actually, I met you when I went to see the
Harlem
48
Nine.
hours. Yes, 48
Yes,
hours in
yes,
Harlem. Yes. So I thank Sandra
yes.
Daly because I attended the event and I saw your work. I'm like, I've got to work with this person. And when I found out you're Caribbean, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Even more of a win.
Okay, so let's see if anybody has commented. Oh, nobody has commented yet. Okay, that's okay. They're watching
It's
quietly.
probably brewing. Comments are probably brewing.
Brewing, they're like,
Maybe you'll
I
sit
want to
with
say
them for
something.
later.
I saw this, I did that. So, what are the themes of your play? I mean, I know you told us a story, but what are the key
Hmm.
themes? And I love how it's an intergenerational story because so often people don't tell the story of the relationship between generations. But what are the themes that you're hoping to trigger an awareness of in your piece?
Yes. So some themes that I started with was definitely illness,
Mm,
acceptance.
mm,
Um, there's trauma, And as I continue to look at the piece and, get feedback from the actors who read it, and I hear it out loud from their perspectives, it also highlights like you mentioned, like that generational aspect of it, being that it's usually the newer generation that comes in and challenges the older generation's understanding of something. And so I
Mm.
kind of there's also themes of change and how hard it is to do that. Um, but yeah, those are, I think, the themes that I've focused on, and it's there's a little bit more, I think, brewing, which I'm still kind of discovering as I continue to look at this piece and work with others. But it's it's becoming very like real rounded when it comes to. I'm just running out of things to like really talk about, but those are the the general
Okay, so
themes
let's go
there.
back. Let's go backward a couple
Yes,
of steps. You mentioned in 2019 you just got into New York and you met Conchel Productions as you worked on Lucky. So, how has your Caribbean heritage impacted or informed what you're writing? I know it's about you and
yeah.
your mom, but
hmm
how does that impact your work?
I think so. Part of it is a self-discovery aspect to it, being that
Mm,
my connection to the Caribbean is through my mother. And then as we see this story, we're kind of get a sense of that relationship. And so there's been a lot of work on my end to, of course, learn about my heritage through partly personal research or, active inquiries, simply because that wealth of knowledge sitting with my mom is oftentimes not as accessible, as we may, discover through the show or may infer. So it's been a lot of self-discovery, being that I recently learned that, oh, I'm also part Dominican. So it's just like, what else, is there to know? So it's been a journey of learning for me.
mm.
My heritage has been a lot of learning and realizing that, oh, I'm also this here. I'm also part of this here, and trying to feed myself with those different aspects.
The awakening to the voices of the ancestors, right?
Mm,
Mhm. So you mentioned before you feel impact producing is about creating work that leaves people with a thought, inspires a thought or a desire to do something. So what do you hope sticks with your audience when they leave? Because there are going to be 4 plays presented during the program. You're part of Program B, which is on Thursday, December
Friday.
5th. Friday. Okay, great. I'm day challenge. Friday, December 5th at 7 p.m. and then again on Saturday, December 6th at 5:30 p.m. So when they
Mhm.
leave that event and they have all these 4 rich stories in their being, what do you hope sticks with the audience about weavers?
I want them, and it may not even hit them after the show ends. It may just come to them maybe a month later. Something during
Mm,
their day might just spark something. But I want them to look at how they've changed and how that change has been for the better. And I think it's that acceptance of self
mhm,
and being that and not allowing that growth from where they started
mm,
to separate them from the relationships that were there when they started. If
mm.
those relationships, of course, to their benefit. I don't want to say every relationship is something to keep, but definitely those relationships that you need, keep those, even as you continue to grow and change.
I love that. I love that. Oh my God. You give me so much food for thought. I'm just like thinking, 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 thinking.
Well,
So
I'm
if someone
returning
is
it
what
because you constantly feed me. Like, really.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you. Now, okay, so someone is watching this live or watching the recording and they haven't bought a ticket yet. I just put the QR code on the screen. What would you tell them they'll gain by being in the audience at CSP New Works Fest, December 4th to 6th?
Well, viewer viewers, you're going to be reminded of what it means to be human, the beautiful, the ugly, the messy, and you're going to know you're not alone. Because a lot of
Mm.
many times we feel as though our experiences are unique, when in fact they're very much shared. So this is definitely an experience to recognize that w- we're all in this together and we have this shared experience that is not unique at all. There's nothing new here. And we may just learn something about ourselves that we can carry on and help someone else learn from as well.
I love that you say that because our mission at Conchell Productions is to awaken all Americans to the stories we tell, which are human stories with just a very clear cultural viewpoint, right? But they're all human stories. So I love that you say that. We all have similarities, and that would hopefully inspire you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Joshua.
you.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watching, and use that QR code. Come on out, see these amazing writers, 5 amazing writers. And if you don't know who they are, go to our Instagram page, follow us. You're on Facebook, follow us. You'll find out more about these playwrights. You're posting about them left and right just for you to know. These are amazing beings telling amazing stories to change the world. And see you December 4th to 6th. Thank you, Joshua. See you soon. See you in
Thank
tech.
you.
Okay.